Welcome to the half-time break. Not the way we would have liked to have seen the scores at half-time, although the Crows did work themselves back into it in that second quarter. Half-time scores, 8 goals 3, Hawthorn 51, the Crows 5 goals 8, 38. We got absolutely poleaxed in that first quarter, but thankfully we got ourselves back into the game in the second. Hawks, Luke Bruce has kicked 3, Mitchell 1, Puopolo 1, Rioli 1, Roughead 1, Shields 1. And for the Crows, in a second there, we have not as many goal kickers. Just let me get it. We got Eddie Betts with 1, Charlie Cameron with 1, Sammy Jacobs with 1, Tommy Lynch with 1, Tex Walker with 1. Well, I tell you what, that was a game of 2 quarters, both coaches dominating this game at the moment. Alistair Clarkson is an absolute genius. The way he set the Hawthorn team up in that first quarter, they just denied our usual run and carry. They set themselves up deep down back with plenty of numbers, and they pushed up in their forward line. And whenever we had the ball, they were right in our faces. And unfortunately for the Crows, and it's always the way when we play against this team, we zone off and we chase jumpers and they just pick their way through us every time. When are we going to learn that when they've got the ball, you just get back behind the ball and reset across half back? We just continually chase jumpers as they're chipping their way through the transition, nice and easy, and without too much pressure on them, and all of a sudden they spot up someone in front of goals and kick a goal. We just continually chase jumpers against Hawthorn, and we just haven't learnt that as soon as they get the ball off half-back, you just need to get numbers behind the ball and break down their forward transition across half-forward. We don't do it, and until we start doing it, we're going to keep losing against this mob. All right, some leading disposal winners. We have Tommy Lynch with 15 disposals, 7 kicks, 8 handballs. We have Matty Crouch, who I thought has played very well, 15 disposals, but only the 2 kicks. And again, this is Matty Crouch when he's under pressure. Last week we saw him a lot more decisive with his disposal, and he cut GWS up a little bit with his disposal, but now he's back to his handballing best under pressure. We've got Rory Atkins, surprisingly, on 12. I thought Rory was pretty quiet, but he's had the 5 kicks, 7 handballs. Tales down back, 12 disposals, 4 kicks, 8 handballs. I thought he's done all right. Brody Smith, 6 and 6 for 12 disposals, but I thought he's looked rushed at times. And then we have Sloan on 10, Riley Knight on 10, and also Rory Laird on 13, but far less influence on the game than he had last week as well. Don't forget, if you want to interact with us, you can tweet us live on Twitter using the hashtag CCMainbreak. You can call us on Skype if you want to have a chat, have a rant. Our Skype is BF Crowcast, and particularly if you're at the ground and you're listening to us at the MCG at the moment, go ahead, Skype us in, give us a bit of a feel from the ground. It would be great to hear from anyone who's actually at the game at the moment. You can also chat with us on Facebook, on our Crowcast page, AFL Crowcast. So plenty of ways to interact, and you can also obviously chat with us on our Spreaker page, Spreaker.com/users/AFL Crowcast, and we've been joined on that chat by Valus. Nice to see you there, mate. And he's saying that Tex shouldn't be playing this week. Well, he doesn't look particularly above the ground, does he, mate? And he also mentions that our disposal efficiency is down, and I would agree with that. We don't look like we're playing with any composure whatsoever, and that's a lot to do with the Hawthorn team's frenetic pressure, I should say, when we've got the ball. They're in our face, and it's a completely different story when we've got the ball as compared to when they've got the ball. When they've got the ball, we tend to be zoning off, and as I said earlier, just sort of chasing jumpers. But Hawthorn playing very structurally. I thought that Pikey reset us quite well at quarter time. We pushed up a little bit harder, so we were able to maintain some forward pressure. Unfortunately, with so many Hawthorn players back in our forward 50, we weren't just able to spot up kicks, and we kept just turning the ball over deep. Losing Josh Jenkins, which with what is suspected to be a punctured lung, but at the very least probably a broken rib, really hurts us because he just gives us another option up forward. But I thought Sammy Jacobs was probably our best player in that first half, particularly in the second quarter. Not only is he doing the ruck work with only a little bit of a chop out from Andy Ottens, but he also worked his way deep and took a couple of good clunking marks. He needs to be able to convert, however, and until he converts, it doesn't help us if he's taken those marks. He kicked 1-goal-1, but certainly I thought Sauce was our best. I thought Crouchy did all right in and under in the packs, and I thought Charlie Cameron at times looked like he was going to break free. We need more from Rory Atkins. We need him to start actually hurting the opposition when they're under pressure. Rory's all right when the ball's going in our favour, but he looks like he second guesses himself a bit when it's in hard and tight. Thought Tommy Lynch worked himself into the game, 15 touches as I mentioned earlier, and he's doing that lead-up job for us quite well. I thought they might sit on him a bit, particularly with Jenkins out of the picture, but he's managed to work himself into the game. Richie Douglas has been very quiet. I thought Rory, even though he's picked up the 10 touches, I thought he was quiet, although he did seem to work himself back into the game. Curtly Hampton is one that needs to step up in our midfield. Only the 4 touches so far, 2 and 2. And it just goes to show that when you come out flat against Hawthorn, and they're obviously fired up after having dropped their bundle last week against the Bombers, then look out. They're going to burn you, because we looked a little flat. We look like we're not chasing with intensity. We're not. Our defensive running is not very good. We're not getting enough numbers behind the ball when they're moving forward. And someone's going to have to give them a rocket at half time, because as it stands at the moment, they look like they're just 1 or 2 goals away from breaking this game right open. Joined on the chat by American Crow all the way from Cleveland in the US. Good to have you, mate. He's always the optimist, American Crow, and he reckons that we're going to run them down. Well, mate, I don't know what game you're looking at, but at the moment they look like they're running on top of the ground, and we look like we're a little bit flat. So I hope you're right, but that's some crystal ball you've got. Vardy Magic is also on the chat, and I reckon he's got it spot on with Mitchy McGovern. Mitch is around the mark, but he needs to impose himself a little bit more, and they've got to. Our forward line looked great when we're open. Like last week against GWS, the forward line was nice and open. Our forwards were able to work into space and have a lot of one-on-one contests. You're not going to get that against Hawthorn. Hawthorn will always get numbers back. They will always crowd up around your forward 50. And blokes like Tex Walker, Mitch McGovern, the marking types, they need to be able to accept body contact and work harder when things aren't going in their favour. And at the moment, Mitch McGovern's being worked underneath it and worried out of it. Tex is nowhere near it and needs to really start presenting. We've seen this a couple of times. We saw this at the beginning of the season last year when Tex didn't look quite right and he played. And I understand Tex is captain, but he's kept a player out this week in Troy Menzel, who did all right last week. And our forward structure worked very well last week. Now, notwithstanding the fact that we've lost Josh Jenkins, if Tex wasn't right, he shouldn't be putting his hand up. In fact, the right thing to do as captain is to put your hand up and say, I'm not right, give me another week. But he's on the park, and once you put yourself on the park, you're fit. And Tex needs to really step up in this second half, because we need someone to be hitting up up on that forward line. And not only that, but Tex, when you take a mark at 50, we all know you can kick the ball 65 metres. Get back off the mark, take responsibility and stick it through the middle, because that kick that he kicked into the man on the mark, he had the opportunity to really break the game back open in our favour and switch some momentum back our way. and he hardly got back off the mark. He ended up kicking it into the man, and the ball goes out to Lynch. He ends up having a shot from wide out on the boundary line, and it was never going to go in. So we just need Tex to really start asserting himself, because he's put himself on the park, and therefore he's fit. Richie Douglas has also been fairly conspicuous by his absence today. I haven't really talked about him, but after last week's promising showing, he's only got the 9 touches. Another one who needs to step up, and I hate to say this, but David McKay's back into his old ways. Only the 4 disposals, 3 and 1, and one of the things that I liked about David McKay's game last week was his ability to get outside the contest and really accept some run. Really accept the ball coming out of the packs and give us some run. He's not giving us anything today, not one thing. And DMAC, if you can't do it under the heat, this is what we've come to expect from the Crows. When we're going well, when things are going in our favour, when the opposition have dropped their heads, we all look like champions. But this is the kind of game we need to win. This is the kind of game that you get in finals. And I know it's only round 2, but these blokes need to stand up and stop going through the motions when the thing gets a little bit difficult. They need to actually assert themselves and get over the top of this mob, because getting over the top of a Hawthorn who are coming back from a bad loss is one way to instill belief in your team. And we need blokes like Douglas, McKay, Tex Walker, Eddie Betts. We need these blokes to stand up. Daniel Talia. We need these blokes to stand up. This is a critical game in the psyche of the Adelaide Football Club. We haven't beaten them since round 1, 2011, and if we lose to them again, you can just see the heads drop a little bit and the belief just sap away a little bit, because the game really is there for the taking. I'll just run through some team stats. Don't forget you can chat to us on Spreaker. I've got a few blokes there today. Thanks very much, guys, for supporting the cast. You can also tweet us on AFL Crowcast using the hashtag CCMainbreak. You can chat to us on Facebook, on our Facebook page, AFL Crowcast. And if you're feeling really adventurous, you can Skype in on BF Crowcast. It'll be fantastic. I'll tell you what, the first person to Skype in is going to get a case of beer from me. I know it's a bit of a big deal to Skype into a show like this, but the first person to Skype in gets a case of beer. How's that? BF Crowcast, go ahead and give me a ring and tell me what you really think. I've got Squibby's here as well, and he's mentioned the umpires, and I tell you what, the umpires have been pretty freaking average, to be honest with you. It's certainly not the reason why we're down at the moment, but how many times do we get tackled high and it's play on? How many times do we get nudged under the ball and it's play on? I need someone to explain to me what this bloody free kick is that Sam Jacobs keeps giving away in the middle, because it happened last week and it's happening again this week, where the ball goes up, the whistle goes, and Sauce looks around like he's has no clue what's going on, and I'm with him. I've got no clue what's going on either. And yes, Vardy, if you're a teetotaler, I'll buy a sleeve of Nespresso capsules or something or other. You can tell me what you want for calling in. All right, team stats. It's unbelievable. Hawks 119 kicks to 89 by the Crows. Handballs 114 to 80. They've dominated us in disposals, 233 to 177. And that certainly illustrates how they've been able to transition the ball with us just chasing behind them at 2/3 pace. We're going at 1-to-1 kicks to handballs, and that's not how we like to play. We're a kicking team, but we've had no time and we've had no space. So that's certainly broken down, and that's shown in the marks. 62 to 41 marks, again, illustrates what I'm talking about. Sources dominating the hit-outs and doing really well, 28-14. As I mentioned, I thought he was our best in that first half. We had, I think, on Fox, I think it said about 83% time in forward 50 in that second half, and it really should have been. It should have resulted in some higher scores from us, but we just couldn't work our way through. Contested possession is fairly even because the Hawks are beating us around the ground. They're not beating us at the contest. Uncontested possessions, 155 to 110, tells the story, as does effective disposals, 174 to 126. We're taking contested marks, but not inside 50. We've taken 12 for the match, only 6 inside 50, winning the clearances, but it's not really doing us any favours at the moment because we're not using the ball effectively. Don't forget, anyone who wants to give me a call on Skype, BF Crowcast, a case of beer, or the equivalent for those who do not partake in alcohol. Otherwise, you can tweet me at AFL Crowcast using CC Mainbreak. You can chat with us on Facebook, AFL Crowcast, or you can chat with us on our Spreaker page. And it's nice to see you guys on Spreaker today. Thanks, guys. Benjamin, Vardy, American Crow, Valus. It's good to see you guys, and thanks for supporting the cast. Anything else you want me to comment on, guys, here? I've pretty much said it all, I reckon. What's going to need to happen in the second half is that we're going to need to structure up better. Pikey needs to address how we deal with their transition, because in that second quarter, the goals that they kicked were through transition after long periods spent in their defence. And what we tend to do is just chase jumpers out of their defensive 50 rather than regrouping at half-back. We don't give ourselves an opportunity to stop their flow going into forward 50. We just chase and chase and chase, and then eventually they just spot up a one-on-one. And they're good enough in one-on-ones to win 50% of those contests, particularly with Bruce Cyril Rioli and Puopolo, who took an absolute specky. That was a beauty. Squibby, you're not banned, by the way, so go ahead. Valus is saying that he wants to see us offer Otten some cash to line up some Hawks players because it's his retirement game. I didn't think Otten's was too bad. Certainly, we need him to chop out Sauce in the ruck around the grounds and let Sauce drift up forward. But you're right, Vardy. Incidents of stupidity. We lack composure. We've lacked composure in tie, and I know it's a high pressure contest, but geez, I tell you what, these guys are, they're seasoned AFL players, and we should be, if we're not simulating high pressure situations in tight at training, then there's something wrong. But we keep giving the ball away in tight, and Hawthorn are obviously very good at milking frees, at giving the little dinks. The little half throws, all that sort of stuff. But we've got to put that aside and just hunt the ball and then use it effectively when we're going forward. As I was saying, in the second half we need to work out our structure better, and we need to work out a way to open up our forward 50. If that means that we need to play Lynch and Walker high and get Betts one out down the back, or if that means that we need to, play everyone a little bit deeper and then push up so that we get more forward 50 entries and hold it in again and maybe, get a few more scores that way. I'm not sure, but I'd like to see us push up higher, to be honest with you. I'd like to see us getting Betts one out, Tex one out, Mitchie McGovern one out. At the moment, they are crowding our forward line, and, 80-odd% time in forward half for a couple of goals is not a good enough return, and I think they're quite happy to see us punt the ball back in because they know they can bounce it out and eventually work their way through our defensive transition with their own disposal. I'm going to leave it there, guys, because the footy's just about to start again. It's been a good 20 minutes. Thank you very much, everyone, for people who have joined us today. And don't forget, tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock we have the Sunday Wrap, where hopefully we'll be talking about the Crows turning it around in the second half and posting a win. But anyway, until then, thanks guys, and go Crows for the second half.